lot going on with this soap today, and I have stuff kind of spread out because I've got lots of different layers with this one. So my plan is to make a apple or an apple orchard type soap, and I have different layers. I have different techniques that I'm going to be adding. So I think I have everything all set out. It's, you know, when you make a complex soap, you kind of have to have your spaces spread out, things all over the place. The fragrances I'm going to be using, let's start off with that, is I have Applejack and Peel from Wholesale Supplies Plus. I have a little bit of Appleberry from Aztec, and then I have Hazelnut Toffee from Brambleberry. They are all supposed to behave well. Sometimes when you mix things, they don't behave well. The Hazelnut Toffee does discolor to a dark brown, so I will only be using just a tiny of that in one spot. The other two are not supposed to discolor. I'm going to, on one of the layers, my plan is to mix them, but I want to probably mix them in a simpler layer to see how it behaves before I do it into the other layers. There are 4 layers. I divided my batch into sixths because that would make the best pattern, so to speak, for my soap. I'm hoping. Sometimes things work great, sometimes they do not. This is my 30 bar mold. This is a handmade one using the corrugated cardboard, or excuse, not cardboard, but corrugated plastic. And we have our trunks in there. My youngest daughter helped me make these yesterday. They are made out of leftover soap dough. I'm trying to use up confetti and soap dough and things like that. So this is leftover soap dough, so this will be the trunks. And then I have a little bit of confetti in there, but I have a lot more of that, the shredded soap over here. This will go into the actual leaves of the tree. I want it to be kind of fall. This will be a fall soap. So I want it to be kind of a fall color. I will add in, you see there's 2 colors of green in here. There's that color I'm adding in is the apple moss green, I believe it's called, from Brambleberry. The bottom layer is going to have the hazelnut, and that has this in it, and it has a little bit of brown mica in oil in the bottom. And then I'll let that set up, and then I'm going to do a layer of sky. The sky is going to have this really pretty, it's not going to be that dark, this really pretty Caribbean blue mica from Brambleberry. Then I will have the layer of the actual tree, and that will have that apple moss green, and then I'll finish off with another layer of sky, again with that blue. I think I'm ready to go. I have the first one measured out, and we'll pour it, let it set up, and then while that's setting up, I'm going to do the next layer. Okay, we're done with that one. I'm not sure if the color of the blue sky below is going to be quite blue enough. Sometimes with blue, if you don't put enough in, it can go kind of green. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. And it's really hard to get kind of a light blue. I haven't found a color that mica that I like that will give me a light blue. So if anybody knows one, let me know. Because like I said, the ones that I have, every time I've tried it with a light blue, it'll end up with kind of a green color. So hopefully that first layer of sky will be okay. Now, if you noticed, I did have some acceleration. So the Hazelnut Toffee, that did not accelerate at all. That was wonderful. The first layer, I mixed some of the Applejack and Peel and the Appleberry, and I had some concerns that it might accelerate. It did. So I was able to get it in. Hopefully everything will stick together, be okay. The next layer, which was the tree part, I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and separate the two fragrances out. That one I only used the Applejack. Applejack and Peel from Wholesale Supplies Plus. It did accelerate. So that was the culprit in the first one, not the Appleberry. Now the top layer, I only used the Appleberry in, and I did have a little bit of acceleration, but not as much as the Applejack and Peel, which is surprising because the reviews and everything says this behaves fine. Now the recipe I'm using is not a slow mover, however, it's not a fast one. I've used this recipe for years now, and maybe if I'd used like my lard recipe, I would have had more time, but I had anticipated, especially when they said it was a well-behaved recipe, well-behaved fragrance, that I would have more time. It is what it is, it's in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the oven to cold process, oven process, hopefully make those colors pop a little bit more, and then we'll come back after, let's see, tomorrow, after 24 hours, take it out of the mold. It will have to go in the freezer to get it out of this mold. So it probably won't be until later tomorrow night that I am able to fully cut it. So we'll come back, but just a heads up on those fragrances. The Appleberry from Aztec does accelerate a little bit, but not that bad. Applejack and Peel did accelerate on me. So if I use that one again, depending on what it smells like, then I will only use it like in a single color pour, nothing with any design. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Not gonna lie, this one kind of stressed me out a little bit because when I took it, or at least tried getting out of the mold, a little soft still, there's air pockets there, and I was kind of worried about that with the acceleration. So the ends, and then I cut it. I went ahead and split the loaf, but that looks really good. So I'm really happy how that turned out. There's no pockets in there. You can see little tree there, the trunk and the leaves. This doesn't look very pretty right now. Now, one thing with that mold, like I said, I put it in the freezer. I had a heck of a time getting the sucker out. If you'd noticed, and I did try, you may not be able to see it, but in the video, I tried moving the trunk. So when my daughter and I made the trunks, we went ahead and smushed them in the mold. Yeah, don't do that because they were really, really stuck, and I had a really hard time getting them out, and I actually put a crack in my mold. They're the corrugated plastic ones, so I can always make another one, but that was a little frustrating. Anyway, let's, fingers crossed this turns out okay. I do need to trim the edges real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and cut them open and see how they look.